Hey there, so we are back for part 2 of the top Monmouth County towns to live in. And Monmouth County, of course, if you know and you've been following my channel, is in New Jersey. It's one of the most desirable counties, and there are 53 municipalities in this county. So I actually broke it down into 3 parts. Part 1, that video is right here. We went into all the towns in the north and northeastern areas. Now we're gonna dive into the southeastern areas, and the last part 3, coming soon, will be the central towns in Monmouth County as well as the western towns. So let's get right into it. We have lots to cover. All right, so in the southeastern section that I broke it into, there are 20 municipalities, and I'm going to go into the top 7. Now, just a quick side note here, a lot of people, if you're coming from another state, a lot of people wonder why and get really frustrated by the taxes in New Jersey. The number one reason why our taxes in New Jersey are so high is because we have more school districts in New Jersey than we have towns or municipalities. And that means our taxes go way up because it takes a lot of money to pay to upkeep those schools, to build those schools, and of course to educate the students in those schools. Just a quick side note for you. So as we get into these towns, there are going to be some fun facts that I'll share, as well as the population numbers, the grades for their school district, and also the median home sales. If you have any more questions or you're curious about a town that I don't list in this video, feel free to comment below or message me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Okay, so the first town we're gonna get right into is Bradley Beach, and Bradley Beach is actually one of my favorite towns in this area, and you'll see why in a few minutes. And I actually have a video that I shared that I will post here as well that goes into some of the best places to eat and drink in this area because it's a very up and coming area. There's a really cute downtown. They do a lot of events during the spring, summer, and fall. It has a little bit more diversity, but again, if you did see my part 1, unfortunately Monmouth County just doesn't have great diversity. So if you are looking for that, just know you might not find it. There are high numbers. Over 70% of our towns are actually white. So unfortunately, that's one area that we don't do great in this area of New Jersey. So Bradley Beach, we have 4,100 people, so that's our population there. We have a B+ school rating. And the median sale price in this area is $620,000. And believe it or not, Monmouth County, as I've mentioned, is higher priced than a lot of other counties, especially as you go into South Jersey. So this is sort of on the low end. And again, we're dealing with median here so that you don't get too skewed. The numbers don't get too skewed by the outliers on the high end or the low end. So $620 is our median sale price, and it actually is going up because this is becoming a much more popular town. They don't have a boardwalk, but they have what we call a promenade, which is pavers the entire way of Bradley Beach, and it's just beautiful. You don't have really a view of the water because of the dunes, but it's still a beautiful little spot. There's a mini golf and a couple other things. They have bocce balls, so things you can do along the promenade that are really nice. And of course, these areas, the promenade connects to beach towns and boardwalks in other towns that are adjacent to it. So you can get a nice long stretch of a walk or a run in, and you might even see me because I like to run over there lots and lots during spring and summer. So next up we have Ocean County, and just as a little side note, these are not in any type of order, so don't think that Bradley Beach was number 1 on my list. It just happens to be the first one I talked about. So Ocean Township is a very large town. It's actually 26,000 people in this town, and there's lots of little sections. We have Oakhurst, we have Wanamassa, there's tons of other towns, and the median sale price is about $650,000. And the grade in this school district is a B+. Now, it's a large town, so we don't have a downtown here, but there's lots of strip malls. There's the Monmouth County Mall is really close to this area, which is a large mall, indoor mall, and lots of shops and dining and things like that, but just not a central place that people go. So if you're looking for more of a large town, this is a great spot, and people love this area because we have Wegmans here, and it is a very highly trafficked supermarket. If you don't know, it's one of the favorites in New Jersey. All right, so next up we have Spring Lake, New Jersey, which is a beautiful little small community. And if you drive through, you'll see why. I did actually make a video about that as well for you to get to know the area and see actual homes that were listed on the market when I recorded that video, so feel free to check that out. And Spring Lake is a unique community because there's just under 3,000 people, so it's really, really small. Some live year-round, but a lot have second homes or their family homes, and they're just sprawling mansions for the most part. They're gorgeous and probably out of the price range of a lot of people, but it's still a great town and I wanted to put it on this list. The schools are ranked A. Now actually this town is very, very small, so they only have K-8. Like a few other towns in the area, they have K-8, and then those students, when they go to high school, actually go to Manasquan High School. So there's, I think, 5 or 6 little towns that all send their students to Manasquan High School for 9th through 12th grade. And the median sale price, hope you're sitting down for this, the median sale price in Spring Lake is $3 million. Yes, I said that correctly, $3 million. So it is a much higher price range and not affordable for everyone, but I did want to put it on the list because it's a beautiful town and the schools are really good. And if you can afford it, then it's definitely something I would suggest looking at. Okay, so I just mentioned Manasquan High School. Next up on my list today is Manasquan, New Jersey. It's a beautiful community, and actually what most people love about Manasquan is that it's very walkable. It's 1 square mile of town, and just you'll always see people walking and biking, kids on their bikes, you know, just kind of reminds you of that old kind of community feel where everybody's out and about and everyone knows each other and the kids are hanging out and eating on the corner or going to the convenience store. They also have a cute downtown here. It's a very popular community and lots of people like to try to buy a home in this community, but it is priced a little high and sometimes difficult for people. So a little bit about Manasquan. 5,800 people live here. The schools are ranked A, and the median home price is $965,000. That has gone up recently, as everyone knows. Obviously, our market, as of this recording, is high, but Manasquan especially because it's a very desirable town to live in. As I said, cute shops in downtown area. You really can't go wrong if you're looking for a family community type town where there's lots going on and people know each other and are always walking. All right, so next up on the list, the 5th town on this list is Wall Township. Now, Wall Township is another big town. I have a couple of big towns here and I have a couple of small towns because you never know, everybody likes different things. And we actually have 25,000 residents in this area. And Wall is so big that a lot of people will actually split the town and say, you know, are you from North Wall? Are you from South Wall? Some people really want to be in South Wall. Some people really want to be in North Wall, but it is a very big community. Not a ton of diversity here, unfortunately, but the schools are ranked pretty good as well, A-, and the median sale price is $720,000, so a little bit more affordable than some of the towns we've just listed right before this. And again, since it's a big town, there's really no downtown or central area, but there are lots of shopping malls and restaurants and different things to do, but in general, it's a little bit more low-key, and it's not a beach town, so it's kind of nice if you can't really necessarily afford to be right on the water. It's just about 10 minutes from the beach and 10 minutes from a lot of different beaches, which is what a lot of people like about this town. Next up, we have Spring Lake Heights. Now, I mentioned Spring Lake, but Spring Lake Heights is actually a very different town. It's a beautiful, small, quaint community as well, but very different from Spring Lake and actually much more affordable. The median price here is $737,000 versus Spring Lake that we mentioned, which was $3 million, right? So big difference there. And the population in Spring Lake is about 4,500 residents, and the schools get an A- rating. And as I mentioned before, Spring Lake Heights is also one of those towns. It's a K-8 school district, and those kids go to Manasquan High School for 9th grade. Now, it's kind of nice, right, because these are really small communities. The kids and the families get to know each other, and then they all congregate, these 5 or 6 towns all congregate for 9th through 12th grade, so they get some new friends in the process, and it's a nice way for different towns to kind of get connected and meet new people. Last up on our list today, but not least, is Brielle, New Jersey. And Brielle, New Jersey has about 4,600 residents. These schools are ranked, and the median home price sorry, is 1.2 million. It is pretty expensive here. It's also very close to the water, but not on the water. And it's a big community, or I should say medium-sized probably community. Not a downtown, but again, great restaurants and shops, and actually my favorite bike shop. And there's some really good different kinds of cuisines and restaurants in this area. So we actually visit Brielle quite often, and it's not too far from Point Pleasant, which has a great amusement park and boardwalk area. So here you have it, the 7 towns that I recommend in southeastern Monmouth County. And just as we all know, this is sort of based on my opinion and my facts and the things that I read up on the internet, different websites that I use. So if you want any of those resources, feel free to comment below or message me and I'll share them with you. But of course, everyone has different opinions. So let me know if you like a town here that I did not list, and watch out for part 3 coming in probably about 2 to 4 weeks. If you have any ideas or comments or suggestions for videos, or you have questions, feel free to let me know. I'm always looking for topics. Take care, be well.